There she is. All right. Hi, everyone. Hi. Slowly backing down so that the camera stays in focus. Looks like I am. Hi, welcome to Foundations. So this is a new class on our schedule, and I wanted to introduce you to it and kind of give you a flavor for what to expect here. So Foundations is really our opportunity to kind of come back to the building blocks of yoga. I think so often we come into studio classes and do them and have these experiences without understanding the context, right? Without understanding what's behind why we're choosing different shapes, what those shapes mean, like what is the essence, what is a yoga practice? And I have found that in my years of study and practice, the more I learn about yoga, the more I see fads and trends and different things that people are discovering for the first time. And so much of it, I keep saying, well, that's yoga. That's not new. It's been around for 5,000 years, right, in some form or fashion. So the purpose of this class is to experience a yoga class and also do so from a place of deepening your understanding of what yoga is. And so so what you can expect in this class is a lot of foundational work. So understanding pose breakdowns, really getting into more of like the alignments, the stuff that we kind of breeze through in a group class. We'll take time in this class to break it down, to experience it in different ways and really begin to understand it at a deeper level. But we're also, and this is one of the things that I've always I think like having come to it now realize how important it really is. And that is also understanding the foundations of yoga philosophy and yoga concepts. And so we're going to do an introduction of that today. I know this is a long introduction for class and we normally just get right into it. So you can find yourself in an easy seat in your Sukhasana. Walk your sits bones back, cross your ankles, bring your head up nice and tall. And just take a moment here. You can close your eyes and land in your body. And starting to turn your awareness inward. And maybe deepen your breath a bit. And so in this class today, we'll be kind of beginning an introduction to the 8 limbs of yoga. And this will help to better kind of, I think, contextualize why we do what we do in yoga class. Why we talk about what we talk about in yoga class and do so in a way that is, just basic, simple, but meaningful and impactful. Really landing in your body and noticing your seat here. Last week in our class, we really kind of worked into the how to sit. And so if you want, you can bring your hands underneath your seat, move the flesh back and get the tops of the femur bones, your sits bones, just firmly resting on your supports. And you can see I have a blanket here. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 just to support the body and prop up the hips. And so to get started today, we'll begin by bringing the awareness inward and landing here. But let's open up the head and the neck a little bit. So let's start with the nose. And you can just make some circles with the nose. Moving a little bit like dime-sized circles. And then switch directions. Yeah. And we'll just do a few of these so you can switch directions twice more. And take a few circles and then switch directions this last time. Perfect. And then let's bring hands onto knees. Inhale, shoulders up to ears. Exhale, draw them down your back. Yeah. 3 more just like that. Take the time. Letting the shoulders draw down the back. Yeah. Inhale up. And exhale. Last one. And let it go. Letting the shoulders really shimmying them down the back. Start to let's send the pelvis forward and back a couple of times. Just finding this evenness. All right, so often we just sit. I know. And sometimes just feeling into the pelvis and noticing how it moves in a seat can really help to just come into awareness about sitting in an even way, right? Just to, like we unfocus and refocus a camera lens. So landing in this perfect evenness in the hips, we've got, pelvis in line, we have shoulders now drawing down the back, got a little release in the back of the neck. And we're going to move the head side to side just a couple of times and begin to notice. And I do have a longer breakdown of this. So if you haven't done that, then we'll send it to you after. You can move a little bit side to side and then land on one side and pick the point. Notice where on the wall you can comfortably gaze without forcing the neck. And bring your hand to your cheek. So I'm turned to the right and my left hand is on my left cheek. And we breathe here just gently. Light pressure as the hand meets the cheek and the cheek meets the hand. One more breath in. And then release the hand down to the knee and let's turn side to side and see if you notice a difference. And then turn to the other side. Hand to cheek. So now I'm turned to the left. Right hand is on right cheek. And I'm gently pressing hand into cheek and cheek into hand, finding length in the neck. And breathing. Just 4 breaths. And then slowly release. And again, turn head side to side. And notice the magic. All right, let's stack hands on the heart and just offer a moment to set an intention for this practice. One of the limbs that we will learn in this practice today is mantra, focusing mind, attention, heart in a single energy, single direction. And so your mantra, your intention today could be, I am peaceful. I am strong. I am light. I am free. Right? So pick any intention, one phrase, let it land on your heart, and then repeat it silently to yourself so that you remember, right? So you can set it in your heart. I am peaceful. I am peaceful. And together we'll offer a big breath in and sigh it out. Ha. And then slowly, let's bring hands onto knees and we're just going to start to move the spine a bit, rounding the back. And then inhaling forward. Exhale back. And inhale forward. We can slowly begin to feel the spine moving forward and back. And then when you're ready, and if you'd like, you can begin to move the spine, circling and rounding in one direction and then the other. In yoga, one of the ways in which we begin our practice is with the 6 movements of the spine. And again, I have another breakdown of that. So if you haven't tried it yet, then I will make sure that you get it. Moving, rounding, moving through the spine, letting it be sinuous, right? Moving, rotating, right? Feeling this lightness in the spine and this mobility in the spine. And then when you're ready, let's bring left hand down onto the earth. You can slow your circles, bring it to a close. Left fingertips crawl on the earth. Let's send right arm up to the sky and start nice and tall here, firming belly, drawing it in towards spine. And then if you'd like, you can stretch up and over, finding length in the side, and breathe here. Last breath in, and then slowly come up through center, drawing a hand down onto the earth, other hand reaching up and over. So your left fingertips may be reaching up to the sky, maybe reaching up and over to offer yourself a delicious side stretch. One more breath in here. And let's come back through center. Inhale, sweep the hands. Last movement of the spine, twist to one side, maybe to the right. You can follow me. Press into the ground nice and tall through the spine. Lengthen here. And then exhale to twist. Rotate, wrapping, turning, breathing. And so in the 8 limbs of yoga, 8 steps, 8 phases, 8 kind of ladder rungs on the climb up towards samadhi, right? Or our last rung, the feeling of oneness, that sweetness that comes at the end of practice. There are 8 steps to get there. Last breath in. Exhale it out. Yeah. Inhale. Come on up through center. And then turn to the other side. And so the first 2 rungs of the ladder, the first 2 steps, are the yamas and the niyamas. And these are the ways in which we are with ourselves and the ways in which we are with others. And the purpose of the yamas and the niyamas, which we'll explore during our time together, is to provide a little guidance and direction, not a little, but guidance and direction to the yogi on kind of like our foundational ways of compassion and attention and direction. Let's offer one more breath here. And exhale, come on back through center. That was nice. Inhale, let's sweep hands up to the sky. Exhale, crawl your arms forward. Last movement before we start to bring in some more asana. And so after the Yamas and the Niyamas, again, which we'll get into more in the weeks to come, then we have our asana, or our shapes. And these shapes, many of which have symbols and meanings, which you can spend a lifetime to slowly uncover and understand and learn about. Each asana brings the body, prepares the body, right, for this gentleness and this kindness and this compassion that we offer ourselves. When you're ready, you can come up through a seat and we'll come into tabletop. If you want, you can adjust your blanket and bring yourself into some nice padded support underneath the knees. And so in our asana practice, we make shapes. And so we'll make a shape, we'll make our tabletop shape, spreading the fingers wide, pressing the whole palms into the earth. So all 10 fingers, the space underneath the knuckles, the heels of the palms, the whole circle of the palm, landing and pressing into the ground. And then start to spin inner elbows towards one another and forward. And engage the shoulders, maybe offering a slight rounding in the shoulders to really allow the press into the earth and the awakeness, the aliveness in your shoulders. Float belly up towards spine. So we find length in the back body and then stare at the earth, right? So you have a nice long neck. And from here, we'll extend right leg back. You can leave toes on the earth, or if you'd like, you can float them off the ground. In our asana shape, right, we're preparing the body to be able to sit in meditation, in contemplation, and in silence. In order to do that, we have specific postures which help to move energy through the body. Breathe here. Last 3 breaths. And then slowly release. And you can come in through a cow pose. And exhale to a cat. And coming to the other side, first building the foundation of the tabletop shape, pressing fingers and knuckles and heels of palms, inner elbows, shoulders are strong. And then when you're ready, and that belly floating up to spine, and you can extend left leg long. And so the rungs of our ladder, right, the yamas, things like non-harming truth, non-stealing in the yamas. And then the niyamas, the second rung, santosha, contentment, persistence, self-reflection, right? All part of the niyamas. And then asana, the shapes, right? Moving the body, preparing the body. If you want, you can float your leg. Last 3 breaths. And then we come to the 4th rung. And the 4th rung on the ladder is pranayama. Pranayama, that's our breath. Last inhale. And exhale, knee to the earth. Let's find that tabletop. Offer yourself a nice base here. Maybe taking the knees a little bit wider so you have support. And then tilt the tailbone, finding your cow pose, dropping belly, breathing in. And on your exhale, rounding the spine, slowly dropping head and tailbone down to the earth for your cat pose. And we'll continue finding inhale, cow. And exhale, rounding cat. And as you continue this on your own pace, really allowing the body to follow the breath, you begin to learn and kind of dive into pranayama, right? Breath work. And you can see how physical the breath is in the body. Right? The breath expands the ribs, expands the belly, opens the heart. In order for the body to breathe, there has to be muscles. There has to be strength. And the more we intentionally prepare the body for breath, the deeper the breathing we can do, and the further up the rung in the ladder of yoga we can climb. Let's do 3 more breaths here. Whole and complete breath cycles. Last breath. And then slowly, let's walk feet up to hands. So you can roll over toes and then just walk. Tiny little steps. Keep your blanket where it is. We will use it. Take your feet out a little bit wider. Bend, bend, bend your knees. You can bring hands onto your shins, nice long spine. Exhale, fold and let it go. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. One more. Let it go. And then slowly find your way all the way up, crawling, letting your head be the last thing to rise. Come on up to standing. Inhale, sweep hands up to the sky. Exhale to heart center. Let's cultivate that breath a little bit more. Inhale, reach. Hands through heart center. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. The last one. Inhale. Exhale. Breath in. And breath out. In the shape here, I want you to be reminded of that mantra, that intention that you set. Feeling it in your heart and your toes, owning that, honoring it. As we move and continue through our practice. Inhale, sweep arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend knees as you slowly descend to the earth. Finding your halfway lift. Here, if you have blocks nearby and you can support the hands, I bring them up to at least the medium. Bring them up to the medium height. And then right foot, you're in a bent halfway lift. Right foot stays forward, left foot, big step back. And then you can drop the knee down. You can even bring the blocks up to a taller height. As we dive inward and begin to sense and feel how the body is landing in this shape. And when we do that, right, we ascend or climb up another rung of the yogi ladder, Pratyahara. Internal awareness, being able to sense and feel what's happening on the inside. Take this as just as much of a practice and a skill as the breath work and the asana, right? It's the next rung up. It's not before. It's only through asana and through the breath that we can begin to sense and feel the body. Honoring that, drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. You can bring hands and stack them on your right knee. Landing here. Right? If you want to add more, you can. You can always curl over those back toes and come into crescent lunge. But for me, the sensing and the deepening of practice, once I'm there, it's nice to be able to stay low to the ground and sense and feel what's occurring in the thigh, what's occurring in the feet, What part of my body is talking to me? Part of my body is ready to move on. Last 3 breaths in this shape. And then slowly release hands to the earth. We're going to bend into the back knee and just step the right foot back. And then if you can, and if it feels good for you, curling over back toes and sinking onto your back heels and stretching out the feet. Whew. Breathe here. This is where internal awareness, right, that pratyahara becomes very apparent, right? That discomfort in the feet, that readiness to jump out, right? Honoring that. And let's slowly crawl the hands forward and uncurl the toes and then tap out the feet. To move to the other side, we're going to move into a little bit of a sequence. So let's come from tabletop. Walk hands just a smidge forward, and then roll over toes and find your way slowly, gently into downward dog. Bend your knees and offer your feet out nice and wide to the edges of the mat. Let's do 3 breaths here. And then when you're ready, and on your time, if you'd like, you can bend knees and look forward. Exhale, tiny steps, finding your way to the front of your mat. Inhale, hands on knees, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and let it go. Slow press all the way up to standing. Letting the head be the last thing to rise, arms reach, hands to heart center. Take a breath in and a breath out. Remembering that mantra. What was it again? I am peaceful. I am strong. I am connected. Letting it land in your heart and feeling it in your toes. On your next inhale, sweep hands up to the sky. Bending your knees as you generously fold slowly down to the earth. Finding your halfway lift, nice long spine. And then again, if you have your blocks handy, you can have them along your sides. And then slowly step right foot back and drop right knee on the blanket, uncurl the toes. You can come up onto tall blocks and we land in this asana, this shape, connecting with the earth, connecting with the body, firing up the breath, pranayama, bringing in that sensing pratyahara. And now here in this shape, bringing in dharana. I always get the two confused. Dharana, bringing in your mantra, which is what I call it, your mantra. And so here in your mantra, maybe stacking hands on your knees, remembering that intention. I am strong. I am peaceful. I am connected. Notice how the words might color and flavor the experience that you have in this shape. Notice if they draw you, right? The power of those words, the power of that mantra draws you to expand the shape, maybe lifting one arm, maybe both. Notice if that mantra draws you to slow down, draws you to connect deeper to the earth, draws you to slow the roll, right? Our mantras are chosen consciously or unconsciously with some intention because there's some part of you asking. This is the sophistication of yoga that so often gets lost. And this is what we get to explore here. So offering one more breath in this shape. And then slowly releasing hands to blocks and slowly stepping left foot back, curling over your toes. I always like to have my blocks handy so that if I need to come out, I can, but also you can use the blocks underneath your hands to just soften the intensity a bit. So curling toes under, sinking back on heels, feeling this big toe stretch. Maybe using your hands on blocks, maybe using them a lot to kind of pull yourself up. And as best you can, softening into this shape, stretching the toes. Remembering, I am peaceful. I am strong. Remembering that mantra. Last breath in. And let it go. Let's slowly crawl hands forward. Uncurl toes. Tap those feet. And let it all go. And now we come into the 7th rung of our yoga ladder. And the 7th rung is dhyana, meditation. Bringing yourself to a seat and then slowly drawing your way down onto the earth. You can knock knees together. Take feet out nice and wide. Bring arms along sides and land here. Offer a breath in and a breath out. And so here, if you can bring yourself into some belly breaths just to support the body as you transition to the earth. Breathing into the belly. Allowing the belly to expand with an inhale and then exhale, letting it all go. So as we move into our dhyana, our meditation today, you can remain in knee knock pose. If you have a bolster and you'd like to place it underneath your knees, you can do that here. And if you have any other shape that's going to support your body to further release, then you can offer that here. If it's serving you, you can come into your corpse pose, your rest pose, and land on the earth. And think about your mountain here. So drawing shoulder blades towards one another, opening palms up to the sky. Slight tuck of the chin allows length in the back of your neck. And you land here. And as much as you can, just let it all go. Let yourself feel a little melty, a little soft, a little easy, a little gentle, a little peaceful, a little kind. And so just as you may be aware, our meditation, Shavasana, can be something that is in silence, something where the senses to the outside are dulled, and there's just this internal experience that occurs in your tissues, in your mind, and the softness of the body, now more prepared and more open for rest. And if that's for you, then just kind of tune out my words and draw into your colorful, flavorful meditation experience. And if you'd like some guidance as you rest, and I'll offer you just a short body scan meditation. So we'll begin at the crown of the head, allowing the crown of the head to soften and release. All the skin around the crown of the head, the hair follicles, traveling down to the ears and the earlobes, traveling down the face to the eyes and the cheeks and the nose and the mouth as you soften and you release. Softening the throat, softening the collarbone, softening the arm bones, all the way out to the hands and the fingertips. And slowly allowing softness into your heart space, the length of your spine, your ribs and the softness of your belly, your hips, and then down each leg, thighs, knees, shins, ankles, heels, soles of feet, and toes. Allowing the whole body to scan and soften. Allowing the whole body to be at peace. As you rest and you release in Shavasana. And now beginning to bring a little movement to hands and feet. If it feels right for you, you can stretch arms overhead. Big body stretch. And before you move anything, if you're feeling this sweetness, this connection, this greater awareness of self, breath, and body, that feeling is the eighth rung, the eighth limb, the eighth stair, on the top of the staircase. It is samadhi, and it's our connection to the oneness, our connection to life and aliveness, not just in us, but in all things. You can remain here if you'd like, maybe stacking hands on your heart, maybe bending knees and knocking them together. And close this practice today with a big letting go breath. Let's inhale and sigh it out. Bringing thumb knuckles to forehead center, offering a final breath together. As we bow in one form or another, we say, Namaste. Namaste, dear yogis. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope this was helpful and informative, and I hope you got to feel it. And I look forward to experiencing this with you again soon. Be well. Namaste.